beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of Hoppets, diving into the cellar today to drink a beer that we got from Beerdome. So thanks to Beerdome for the beer. I think I bought this either in 2020 or 2021, but it's a 2020 vintage of Founders KBS Espresso edition. So I saved the coffee stout for 2 years. Way to go. That's just how it is. We had a crazy period, Brett and I, where we just like, oh, we need to take that, and like you just accumulate so much beer. And it's just like, maybe it's not necessary, really. Just get what you really, really want to drink and whatnot. It can become obsessive to some extent. But we're chewing through the cellar, and you probably noticed that in some of the videos, because I've been reviewing a couple of vintage beers. And this is one of them. So let's see how it's doing. So I think of the weird Founders variations, that was this and the Maple Macniac Fudge or whatever. It was one of the ones that people enjoyed the most. So yeah, it's a classic KBS, but I'm guessing it's a heavier charge of coffee. So it's made with chocolate, coffee, and aged in bourbon barrels. Bottled on the 23rd of April in 2020. So what they do with the espresso KBS is that they basically take KBS and then after barrel aging, they condition it on coffee once again to give it a more booming coffee flavor, to give a twist on their barrel aged classic. I mean, this is one of the OGs. KBS was one of those beers like, oh my God, you can get KBS. Like, this is a shelfie now in Denmark, most places. It's easy to get, and easy to get in variants. But back when I was really getting into beer, this was one of the beers you traded for, or the regular version. So yeah, 12%, 2020 release. Let's check it out. So I think actually I saw a few people that disliked this fresh back in the day and said it was a bit too bell peppery, but let's see what we think. So pours a pitch black color. It looks like an Imperial Stout. It's got a tan head, roasty looking. Let's check out the aroma. It still has the bell pepper thing. Holy crap. That's not edged out. It's that green coffee bean in abundance. But lots of bourbon too, almost like hints of maple syrup. And definitely chocolate. It's actually holding up impressively well. It's not like crazily oxidized or anything for being 2 years in the bottle. It's really smoothed out the aroma. So I actually didn't try this specific variant fresh, but it compared to like a classic KBS or CBS or whatever, it smells smoothened out. CBS was like my favorite of all the KBS variants. And this is, it smells like classic KBS. It's like that like chocolatey, cocoa nibby aroma with a nice, more pronounced coffee flavor, but it's very much that green coffee bean still. And that's impressive that it's not like really aged out. But you can get that with certain types of coffee beans. It really depends on what kind you use in terms of getting that flavor profile. And of course, also high charges of coffee bean. But it smells nice. It's got the bourbon, it's got the charry, roasty maltiness. It smells more like a classic American Imperial Stout. Charred woodiness, hints of vanilla, lots of toffee, fudge. It smells really nice. It smells good. Let's check it out. Cheers. Too much coffee for its own good, I must say. That's surprising. I think a lot of people will probably really dig this. It's got a lot of coffee flavor. Holy crap, that's really intense for being so long in the bottle. This tastes like an old school barrel-aged American Stout. And it's nice. To modern standards, this will be judged as thin and too dry and whatnot. I don't think it necessarily is. Like, I don't mind stouts that are like this. This was how stouts were back in the day. Everything nowadays is just taken to extremes. But it's not as good as regular KBS. It's got so much green coffee bean. Like, it's like so bell pepper heavy. It's crazy. Touch of warming alcohol. Slight booziness on the end. Just a little bit, which is also impressive for the age. But mostly in terms of flavor, I think there's more chocolate on the aromatics. But flavor is just like all coffee. All coffee and oak and bourbon. Like, there's so much coffee. It's so intense. Lots of charry, roasty. It's definitely espresso-like. But I've had beers with coffee that's just executed much more well, where it's more like a pure espresso flavor, espresso bean flavor, or like chocolate-covered espresso beans or something like that. But this is like really green bell peppery coffee. Like, heavy. on that. It's nice. I really enjoy it. It's a good beer, that's for sure. But it's definitely not the best KBS. 100%. I'm getting some vanilla hints in there too. There's some caramel, some toffee, like soft caramelly, lighter flavors for sure. Toasted wood, the warming bourbon, charry. It's definitely some roasted malt, chocolate maltiness. There's a hint of the cocoa nib, almost like cocoa powder, like on cakes or something like that. But yeah, the espresso is so intense on green coffee bean. And I for some people that's probably nice enough, but I just prefer coffee flavors to be a bit more pure and not like taste like vegetal. So you get that bell pepper thing. I don't think I've ever had a coffee stout that's had this much green like bell pepper. This is a schooling on that coffee flavor profile, really. But it's not half bad. It isn't. But I drink regular KBS over this any day, or CBS. I still actually have some vintage CBS in the cellar from like 2018, maybe 17. I don't know. I have one bottle left, I think. It's all right. I don't think it's anything special. Like compared to modern standards of barrel aged beers, this is just like it's all right. It seems like an entry level barrel aged beer, but a decent one at that. So like if you've never had bourbon barrel aged stouts or coffee stouts, it's a good entry beer, but it's not going to be the best you ever have or will ever have. So that's my 2 cents. Rating. $85, $86, something like that. Like it's rare I get bourbon barrel aged stout these grades, but yeah, to me it's just like it's lacking a bit on mouthfeel. It's quite dry. It's the big thing is just it tastes like so much like green bell peppers, which I dislike a bit, which is a bit of an off flavor. There is a touch of like a soft, pillowy, oaty thing, which is nice. Or maybe 86. It's on Untappd. I give this like a 3.5, 3.75. I think a lot of people would grade it a whole lot higher, especially if they haven't had the crazy barrel aged stouts I've had. But yeah, it's a good entry level barrel aged stout. It is. It's decent. It's worth a shot, but not something I think I'm gonna seek out again, unless it's a new vintage. But thanks a ton to Beerdome for this. Another solo beer. I'm pretty sure that they do not have this on the web shop, so but check them out anyways. But that does it for the review of the Founders Espresso KBS from 2020. About damn time this was cracked. It's crazy how much coffee is still around for it being so old. Or old, 2 years in the bottle. So if you guys had this, let me know. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this one a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future ding notification about videos. And I'm going to say cheers, and see you guys in the beer review.